Hello everyone, this is Admiral Prince Eric here. Welcome back to my channel. So, in today's video, would like to discuss for well, the Warships latest devlog that I never watched it back on Friday midnight. I'm very sorry for that because I have to go into sleep right now because of work duty for weekdays. Okay, before we tackle about it, so please sure to subscribe my channel and click the bell on the notification icon. Alright, so let's get on to it. But this is gonna be the first content on the 15.0 in the year 2026 on board the Warships. Alright, so let's get on to it. Okay, so the first part is the Closed Test 15.0 takes on the early access of the pan-European battleships, improvement of the fighters, and many more. So I gotta read this entirely. Welcome captains to the first update of 2026. Let's discover together what update 15.0 has in store for us. Okay, so the first early access in the year 2026 aboard the warships is the pan-European battleships. There are mostly wide ranges of the pan-European battleships throughout its historical nations, such as the Ottoman Navy, later on the Turkish Navy, the well-known Austro-Hungarian Navy, and as many more. Alright, so let's get on. So early access to pan-European battleships. Let's start the year with a brand new battleship line. The new branch of pan-European battleships will enter early access with the arrival of update 15.0. The line spans from tier 4 to the top tier and features ships from multiple nations. The tier 4 Yavuz Sultan Selim, the Ottoman Empire. Later on in the service after the Ottoman Empire's abolition, went on to the Turkish Navy. The tier 5 Tegetov, Austro-Hungarian Navy. The tier 6 London, Austro-Hungarian Navy, but it is based on the Esartmona class battleships. Tier 7 Chios belongs to the Greece, or not known today, the Greek Navy. The Tier 8 Enighet belongs to the Swedish Navy. The Tier 9 Gustav the Store belongs to the Swedish Navy, and culminating with the top tier Tor belongs to the Swedish Navy at the top of the line. Ships of the branch are armed with smaller caliber main battery guns than most battleships in their respective tiers, but come equipped with torpedoes, which become more powerful starting from tier 8. At the top of the branch, Tor reigns supreme with impressive shell velocity, resulting in remarkable ballistics. These ships combine good concealment for battleships and good mobility thanks to the stock high speed and access to the new time-based engine boost consumable starting from tier 5. At higher tiers, they are also equipped with a surveillance radar consumable at first for Tech 3 battleships. The downside of these battleships can be found in their relatively small HP pools. To celebrate this new line, the following content will be added to the game. We got the Border Coolant permanent camouflage for Enighet, the Mora Stenar permanent camouflage for Gustav the Store, and the Guban permanent camouflage for Tor. You can find more details on each ships in our previous devblogs right down ahead. Alright, the next one is the fighters update. We continue to implement improvements to aviation mechanics. As part of this process, starting from update 15.0, fighters will no longer be able to spot enemy ships on their own. At the same time, we're reworking fighter squadrons to enhance their tactical capabilities and improve their defensive effectiveness. This change will apply to ship-based fighters as well as patrol fighters. Here's what will also change on the following list. They will now be able to attack both HE and ASW airstrikes much more efficiently. Since these airstrikes remain on the battlefield for a much shorter time than manually controlled aircraft, fighters will attack them almost immediately after an airstrike enters their patrol area. From now on, fighters can attack multiple airstrikes before leaving the battlefield, but only one squadron at a time. This means the fighters can attack an enemy airstrike squadron, deal a certain amount of damage, then return to the patrol area and attack another target when it appears. Note that fighters can sequentially attack several different airstrikes, but they can only engage other types of squadrons only once before leaving the battle. Although fighters can deal significant damage to airstrikes, they will have certain limits. Namely, fighters will not be able to destroy an airstrike or ASW airstrike completely. Interactions between fighters and other types of aircraft remain unchanged. Now, Distinguished Service Awards. Earlier in the year, we implemented efficiency badges on hinted at the future arrival of Distinguished Service Awards, which we previously referred to as Marks of Excellence. We are now ready to share more details. Distinguished Service Awards is a new challenge to display your skill with your favorite ships. Those awards are earned by performing consistently over time on a particular ship and can be considered a special decoration that reflects your mastery of it. Show the world what you're made of. Earn your Distinguished Service Awards and display your mastery with pride on the high seas. For here's some high rewards. Distinguished Service Awards are available for every Tier 5 ship and above in random battles. At first, you need to complete several qualifying battles. These battles are used to determine your average base XP for the selected ship. Once your average base XP is calculated, the game will start comparing it with that of other players using the same ship. Your grade with a specific ship is based on your average base XP over a set number of past battles. If your average meets or exceeds the milestone, you earn a Distinguished Service Award. There will be separate Distinguished Service Awards depending on whether you are playing alone or in a division. Personal Distinguished Service Awards, calculated from solo battles and compared against other solo players. That's the Division Distinguished Service Awards, calculated for solo and division players, comparing division battles against the data. You can have both types of awards and they will be displayed independently. Awards will come in 3 grades depending on how your performance stacks up against other players. So please check it out on the tables right now and on the visit in the DevBlog site linked down in the description below. The 10% of the worst performing battles are not taken into account. The player profile will display only the highest available grade of the Distinguished Service Award with a specific ship. Once you earn a Distinguished Service Award, you can lose it. You will be able to see your Distinguished Service Awards in your profile and on the post-battle results screen. Additionally, if you are within 5% of reaching the Distinguished Service Award on the ship, you will be able to see your current personal average base XP in comparison with that of other players. This will help you understand how much you need to improve your results to get your next guide. The next grade. Honor, Integrity, Virtue, Collection, and Unique Commonwealth Historical Commander John Augustine Collins. I wanted to show about my personal info detail about the Australian Historical Commander John Augustine Collins, linked down in the description below via a Wikipedia. Serving with distinction in the Royal Australian Navy, John Augustine Collins earned recognition for his actions in both the Mediterranean and the Pacific theaters of World War II. We're now ready to review his in-game portrait and bring this unique historical commander to your courts. You can learn more about his enhanced skills and talents in our previous DevBlog. You'll be able to earn new Commander John Augustine Collins by completing the new historical collection, Honor, Integrity, Virtue. This collection consists of 60 elements that you can earn through the Honor, Integrity, Virtue, Standard, and Premium containers. Will be available for the regular containers and the Premium containers. Note that the Honor, Integrity, Virtue, Standard, and Premium containers will become permanently available in the Armory on update 15.8, which means the World of Warships 11th year anniversary. Okay, for new leaderboards, update 15.0 brings a new type of leaderboard system designed to make competition more open and rewarding for everyone. Instead of one massive leaderboard, the new system uses multiple other smaller leaderboards, giving every player a real shot at the top spot and earning rewards through regular gameplay. How it rewards. During update 15.0, there will be 4 separate leaderboards. one for each week of the update. Each leaderboard will feature its own set of rewards, giving you the chance to compete and earn prizes, including honor, integrity, virtual containers every week. Players will be divided into small groups and will compete only against other players in the group. Depending on the week, each leaderboard will feature every 25 or 50 players. Once you play your first battle during a given leaderboard period, you'll be automatically assigned to the active leaderboard that still has a room. When one leaderboard fills up, a new one is created right away. Battle times available for the competition, as well as metrics used and tier restrictions, will vary from week to week. For example, during the first week of the update, your leaderboard ranking will be determined by the cumulative-based XP earned in random, rank, co-op, and asymmetric battles, as well as operations and/or brawls playing ships of 80 tier. You will be placed on leaderboards with players who have shown a similar level of activity over the past 30 days, meaning you will be competing against your peers. Just as in previous versions, you'll be able to view the full list of participants, check the current scores, and see the rewards available for each placement in the army. You receive rewards based on your final position on the leaderboard. If you don't collect them manually, they will automatically credited to your account 1 week after the leaderboard ends. Alright, so alternative scenarios for asymmetric battles. Starting with update 15.0. All maps available in asymmetric battles will receive versions with alternative balance. In these versions, the bots will receive different tweaks to their damage and health pools. This system is designed to make battles slightly more challenging for high tier ships while providing a more accessible experience for those using ships below tier 8. These new versions will exist alongside the original versions, and you have a slight chance of playing a battle that uses the alternative balance setup. Okay, one of the most important events for the Ghost Test 15.0 is another salvageable victory, the French submarine Surcouf. We're also ready to share a sneak peek at the upcoming Salvage for Victory event. This time I'm featuring a French submarine Surcouf, which will have a legendary rarity. She brings unique gameplay thanks to her unusual armament consisting of 203mm twin gun turret and a powerful non-guided torpedoes, 2 sterns, and 4 bow launchers. You can find more details about Surcouf in our previous DevBlog. During the event, you're able to obtain Surcouf as well as several other premium ships in exchange for free resources such as coal, rare economic bonuses, and unique economic bonuses. Note that for a limited time during update 15.0, you'll be able to exchange steel into coal. Please note that this conversion is one way only. You cannot convert coal back into the steel. We will communicate more details about this event later. So the French submarine Surcouf is the only foremost the Marine Nationale coming right now into the world of warships. I know what it means. The Surcouf is codenamed the Submariner, which can fire the main battery guns as well as the torpedoes. As usually most will be targeted against enemy ships. To find out more historical info about the French submarine Surcouf, linked down in the description below. So we'll better see right now in the last salvage of victory important for that before every time playing. Okay, the next one will be a UI changes or universal interface. The clan battle tooltip is getting an update. It will now provide clear information about ship restrictions, particularly those that limit the number of certain ships or from a specific list that can be picked in a single team. The last but not least for the Closed Test 15.0 is the content additions and changes. Of course, we prepared a new content for this update. European Commander Ivan Surcouf with an individual voiceover, Grand Trial Winter Pace Flag, and Grand Trial Winter Pace Patch. Also, our newest Frog Fuel collaboration with Mighty Centopads means we are adding Mighty Centopads Permanent Camouflage, Commonwealth Commander Captain Mark, and Mighty Centopads Flag. Okay, so let's head on to the next DevBlog that I never watched right now, the Twitch live stream back on Friday midnight, because I have been waiting for, unfortunately I ended up for the sleep because of my parents' orders, but really wanted to go for the walk as well. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, we got a close test 15.0 takes on a new ships. 2 historical ships with 1 with the hypothetical. Some of these are not as follows. Captains, in today's development blog, we will be showcasing 3 new premium ships, including 1 you can visit today as a receiver. Okay, the first one is the Tier 7 Italian cruiser Fiume. Fiume is a member of the Sala class cruiser, which is a voluntarily, but you know what it means to be another Zala class cruiser of the Regina Marina. This time will ever go forward into one of the warships. Alright, so let's get on to it. The second member of the Zala class of heavy cruiser built for the Regia Marina. The ships of this class were known for being some of the best protected pre-war cruisers built anywhere in the world. Fiume himself entered service in November 1931 and was present at the Battle of Calabria in July 1940, and then also at the Battle of Cape Spartivento, possibly scoring a hit on the British heavy cruiser Berwick. Fiume's most famous action was during the Battle of Cape Matapan, where she, along with her sister ship Zara, returned at night to assist the damaged third sister ship Pola. The Italian Navy force lacked radars, unlike the British ones, and they were ambushed by the Royal Navy's battle line, and the ship was sunk by point-blank fire from 3 British battleships. So, the ship is named after the city of Fiume in Italy. It was historically, that was a modern name city of Rijeka, which has belonged to Croatia. You can find about more details in historical ship about Italian cruiser Fiume linked down in the description below. In the game, Fiume will not share the Italian signature of access to SAP shells, instead carrying the traditional bits of AP and HE shells for her 8 203mm guns. She will additionally have improved reload compared to her sisters. On top of that, she will have access to burst fire that provides both improved accuracy and penetration for HE shells at the cost of extended reload. This will allow you to take full advantage of the ship's good ballistics. Note that like Gorizia, Fiume will also not carry any torpedoes. Okay, on top of that, like Zara and her sister ship Gorizia, some kind of the exchange methods. For Fiume, most of the time they use the traditional ammunition for the high explosive and armor piece alongside, but the ship does that not to be featured the semi-armor basic shells. But this cruiser Fiume though is always for that the exhaust smoke generator consumable at the time. But Fiume don't have a torpedo launchers. With regards to her consumables, she will get access to the exhaust smoke generator, a typical of Italian cruisers. However, it will have a shorter active period compared to Zara, making it more suitable for jumping iron gaps or covering a withdrawal than for general use. She will also have a choice between a fighter or Spartan aircraft consumables. In battle, Fiume will demonstrate the ability to inflict significant damage using her burst fire, if timed correctly, but still be able to disengage or advance under the cover of smoke. You will need to keep good situational awareness, and she does not have particularly good concealment when compared to her sisters at the same tier. Okay, let's start the parameters for the Italian cruiser Fiume, but she will be the same parameters for Zara and her sister ship Gorizia. The hit points is 36,500. To put torpedo protection, we got 1%. Fire duration will be 30 seconds. Fore and aft plating will be 16mm. The main battery, as always it does, most Zara class cruisers are armed with 203mm 4x2. The range is about 70 kilometers, the reload time 12.1 seconds. 180 degree turn time 22.5 seconds. Dispersion is 147 meters and the shell type switching time will be 2 seconds for a minimum. The HE shells damage we got 2850, chances of cost by 15% and the velocity is 900 meters per second. Armor penetration capacity 34 millimeter. For AP shells we got a maximum damage is 4800, the same initial velocity. And for the alternative fire mode, that the reload time will be at 33 seconds. The maximum main battery the shell dispersion is about minus 20%. Main battery HE shell armor penetration capability will be 60%. Sorry, excuse me. Interval between individual shots will be 1.5 seconds, and number of bursts in the series will be only 2. For secondary armament, we got 6x2 100mm. The secondary armament, we got a range is 5.6 kilometers. The reload time for 100mm will be 6 seconds. Damage is 1500. Chances of cost 5, we got 6%. Armor penetration capacity 17 millimeters. And initial velocity 850 meters per second. Now for airstrikes, they will use the anti-submarine warfare. The airstrike range will be 6 kilometers. The reload time 25 seconds. They got 2 available flights. Number of aircraft in attacking flight will be 1. The aircraft HP will be 2000. Only a single bomb per payload. And the bomb damage will be 3400. Okay, for AA defenses consists 4x2 37mm, 6x2 100mm, 4x2 13.2mm. The team's damage we got 138. For short range we got 42 damage, 85% probability, and the fire range 1.5 kilometers. For mid range we got a damage is 102, probability is about 90%, and the fire range is 3.5 kilometers. And for the long range we got damage will be 63, 90% hit probability, and the fire range is 4.6 kilometers. Damage by shell explosions we got 1120. Number of shell explosions in the sample will be 2. Variety sector reinforcement minus we got 35%, and the fire range is 4.6 kilometers. Okay, for maneuverability we got a maximum speed 32.6 knots. 30 circle radius 590 meters and a rudder shift time 10.8 seconds. As per concealment, we got detectability range by sea 14.3 kilometers. Detectability range by depth will be from 0 to 7.5 kilometers, and the range by air is 7.5 kilometers. We got the consumables on the following. We got the damage control party, the soft smoke generator, the choice between the catapult fighter and the spotting aircraft. Right, so the next one is a Tier 9 British light cruiser Aberdeen, a hypothetical additional ship of the Belfast Edinburgh class, which could have been completed in the 1950s, following a modified design and the most modern artillery system of that time. The cruiser is named after a port sitting in Scotland, inheriting the name from a Grimsby-class sloop that served in the Royal Navy during World War II. In the game, Aberdeen will benefit from the high rate of fire provided by her more modern twin automatic 152mm guns, same armament that was used for Minotaur, as well as the Tiger 59. She carries 8 such weapons in the same mounts as Tier 10 British light cruiser Minotaur, and with a similar ammunition load of 80 shells only. These shells come with improved penetration angles and fuse timings. This gives her a good damage output from her tier, but her range leaves much to be desired. She has good concealment and compared to her tier N2. She also benefits from being more agile while losing out in the number of main gun barrels and torpedo tubes, a small number of hit points and relatively large citadel, leaving her more vulnerable to aggressive attacks by larger ships. When it comes to consumables, she will carry the short burst smoke generator similar to that found on British destroyers and Belfast 43, giving you numerous but short options to output damage for relative safety. She will be able to make use of this smoke when alone thanks to her surveillance radar, while British Tech 3 cruisers of her tier are equipped with specialized repair teams. She will have access only to the standard third-party consumables. Overall, Aberdeen will perform as a decent support cruiser for your team's destroyers, but she lacks alpha strike necessary to stop determined attacks. Therefore, it will be a good idea to focus on supporting your team in securing key areas of the maps and putting down larger targets. It can also be a serious threat to smaller targets, thanks to her good rate of fire, but make sure not to be caught out in bad positions, as Aberdeen's hull will not survive a heavy attack from the enemy team. The parameters for the British light cruiser Aberdeen, but in similar of this contrast of the British Tier 8 Edinburgh. So the fore and aft plating we got 16mm. Survivability we got 39,200. Torpedo protection we got 4%. Fire duration will be 30 seconds. The main battery we got 4x2 152mm. The range is 16 kilometers. Reload time 3.6 seconds. 180-degree turn time 4.7 seconds, and dispersion 142 meters. AP shells we got 3,200 damage and velocity 768 meters per second. Torpedoes we got a 2x3 533mm. Damage is 16,767. Range is 10 kilometers. Speed is 62 knots. Detectability range 1.3 kilometers. Torpedo tube reload time about 80 seconds and 180-degree turn time 25 seconds. For airstrikes, they will be used for the anti-submarine warfare. The airstrike range will be 7 kilometers. Reload time 30 seconds. We got 2 available flights. Double aircraft attacking flight will be a 1. Aircraft HP we got a 2,000. Bouncing payload will be only 2. And the bomb damage will be 4,200. The 80 defenses consist 20x2 20mm, 4x2 76.2mm, 4x2 152mm. And we got continuous damage will be 300. For short range we got a 245 damage, 85% probability, and the range is 2 kilometers. For mid-range, we got 266 damage, 90% probability, and the fire range will be 4 kilometers. And for the long range, we got the damage is 112, 90% hit probability, and the fire range is 6.9 kilometers. Damage by shell explosion, we got 1,820. Number of shell explosions in the sample will be a 5. Priority sector reinforcement, we got 35%, and the fire range is 6.9 kilometers. Okay, for maneuverability, we got speed is 32.5 knots, circle radius 730 meters, and the rudder shift time 9.6 seconds. As for concealment, we got detectability range by sea 11.6 kilometers, range by depth from 0 to 8.5 kilometers, range by air we got 8.5 kilometers. Okay, for consumables, we got the first slot, damage control party, the repair party on the second slot, surveillance radar in the third slot, and short burst smoke generator in the fourth slot, and hydroacoustic surge in the fifth slot. Okay, the next one is the Dutch submarine Tony G. Tony. Yes, it is the first time ever submarine into the game. Okay, if you wanted to check it out, the Dutch submarine Tony on the Wikipedia article, linked down in the description below. The last of the 4 Dolphin class of submarines, built in the Netherlands after the Second World War. The hulls consisted of 3 separate pressure holes, allowing them to dive deeper and with greater stability than previous submarines. The class formed the core of the Dutch submarine force during the Cold War. Tony herself was decommissioned in January 1991 before the Soviet Union collapsed, and is now currently today as a museum ship. While subs usually strike from below, Tony can also strike from above. Tonin will have access to airstrikes, mostly similar to those aboard her surface-dwelling countryman Utrecht. However, they will have a shorter range in 8 kilometers and extended reload time between deploying both strikes. Also, they can only be deployed when the submarine is on the surface, making their use somewhat dangerous when engaged in battle. Please note that due to the technical issue, it will be impossible to launch airstrikes from periscope depth during the first stage of testing. This issue will be fixed by the second stage. Her torpedo armament is fairly conventional, similar to that found on U-2501, albeit both torpedo types will have shorter range and lower damage. She will have 4 torpedo tubes both fore and aft, meaning she can launch only a limited number of torpedoes in one direction at a time, but has equal firepower regardless of which way you are pointing the hull. Her consumable layout will carry the same submarine surveillance as that found on German submarines, as well as the enhanced rudder gear consumable. She has good battery capacity and underwater speed, which will aid you to avoiding counterattacks and allow you to get into position to maximize the impact of your torpedo battery and airstrikes. As for downsides, she suffers from a low number of hit points, meaning you will not survive much in the way of return fire. In battle, Tonin will perform fairly similarly to German submarines with their familiar albeit lower damaging torpedoes. She will, however, stand out as being able to deploy airstrikes to aid your team in dealing with dug-in enemies holding important islands and other positions. Good management of your positioning will be vital, as once detected, you will be unable to withstand much return fire. Okay, we got the parameters for the Dutch submarine Tonin. The fore and aft plating will be 19mm. Hit points 17,800. Fire duration will be 30 seconds. Sonar. The reload time is about 8 seconds. Duration of the paint effect on the sector highlighted once, 25 seconds. And duration of paint effect on the sector highlighted twice will be 65 seconds. Ping velocity we got 500. Maximum range 10 kilometers. Ping weight we got 15 meters. Torpedoes we got 8x1 533mm. The number of loaders will be 4 to 4. The reload time is 65 seconds. Torpedo type switching time will be 30 seconds. For standard torpedo, we got a damage is 7,700. Range is 10 kilometers. Speed is 78 knots. And detectability range 2 kilometers. The next alternative torpedo, we got 13,233 damage. Range is 12 kilometers. Speed is 60 knots. And detectability range is 1.7 kilometers. For die capacity, the die capacity we got 310 units. Die capacity depletion will be 1 unit at a time. Die capacity recharge rate will be 0.8 units. We got HE bomb airstrike. We got the range is 8 kilometers. Reload time 110 seconds. They got 2 available flights. Normal aircraft and attacking flight will be 7. Aircraft HP we got 2,160. We got 5 bombs in payload. Bomb damage will be 6,800. Armor penetration capacity will be 37mm. And chances of cross fire on target 39%. Maneuverability we got 25 knots. 30 circle radius 430 meters. Rudder shift time 6.4 seconds. Next, the underwater maneuverability. We got maximum submerged speed 27 knots and dive plane shift time 17 seconds and the maximum dive and ascent speed 3.5 meters per second. For concealment, we got range by sea 5.8 kilometers. Detectability range by depth from 0 to 2.1 kilometers. And detectability range by air will be 2.1 kilometers. As for the consumables, we got the first slot damage control party, we got a limited charges. We got the second slot hydropole. The third slot is submarine surveillance. Okay, so we are also ready to reveal the model for the Pan American aircraft carrier Independencia. As for the rarity, we would like to reveal the rarity of the following ships for upcoming and still work in progress. Two Good Rays we got uncommon. Marco Antonio Colonna will be uncommon. Zarya Airs will be rare. Narai will be rare. and the submarine Sukhoi is legendary. Okay, so I hope you enjoy about my read about the full topics for the post test 15.0 ahead so far. So be sure to stay tuned for that because update 14.11 is coming. My mission agenda was to taking care of my final mission ahead of the Dark event Lucidio, as well as the collect them all Santa's mega gift containers using for now the Grand Voyage tokens from the update 14.0 ever so far. But I'm still playing at the time until the end of the year. So I hope you enjoyed for that, and we'll see you ahead in my next video topic for the patch notes. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like my video, subscribe my channel, and click the bell on the notification icon. And I hope you see you guys in my next video. Peace out, guys.